Hello Capricorn, this is your weekly reading. I'm trying out something new and offering a weekly reading for each zodiac sign, and it's weekly based on the moon phases. So this reading is covering the energies that are going on in your life. Let me see. I've got, hold on, I'm sorry. It's a little bit of a problem here with the way that this got situated. Oh, okay, yeah. Strap of my purse is down there. Okay, so anyhow, this is a reading for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, for the week going from this last full moon, which was on the 19th, until the third quarter, which will be on the 26th. So this reading basically is going to cover what sort of energies are prevalent right now in your life, any messages from Spirit regarding guidance, advice, encouragement, that sort of thing. So I'll go ahead and get started. Clear. Okay, I'm going to set the intention. See how many cards I'm going to draw for you today, Capricorn. Okay, I'm going to be drawing 3 cards. Well, I got that I wasn't supposed to shuffle it anymore, but boy, this first card is way in here. I don't know if you guys hear someone squealing. It's my neighbor. This is very strange. It normally doesn't take this long to get to the card. Okay, got that for the first one. You know, it's interesting. Normally, it never takes this long for me to get to the cards that I'm drawing, but I just had an intuition that possibly somebody's watching who might be a little bit skeptical about how people draw these cards. And so, if you're watching this and this message really resonates with you, I think that's a little bit of a message there that is indeed spirit um, attempting to communicate with you and share with you this particular message. Because normally I draw pretty quickly. I don't know that I've ever, that might be the first time that I had to go through almost the entire deck before I got to the correct card. And just a word on this in case you're interested. I think some of you might be. I've been thinking about making a video series about developing your intuition, psychic abilities, and whatnot, how to improve your card readings if you read for yourself or others. Um, but as far as how I go about choosing the cards, I I used to dowse with a pendulum for many years, and a few years ago, I realized that um, that energy that I could feel through the pendulum, like for me, it kind of feels like a magnet pulling in one direction or another. I realized that I could pick up on that energy in my body and not have to use a pendulum. I can use a pendulum, but um, I can feel it just in my body too. So I use that. So basically, um, when I feel the pull to in one direction, it's a yes, and to the other, it's a no. So basically, I ask how many cards I should draw, and then I ask how long I should shuffle the deck for, whether I should turn the deck around or not. You know, sometimes I feel like I get that feeling that I should, and I ask whether I should, and then also as I go through the deck for each card, I ask, you know, is this the first card? Is this the second card, and whatnot? And choose the cards in that way. I used to read oracle cards and tarot cards in a way where I would just shuffle and then draw the cards off the top. And that was never very accurate for me. But I do know that for some readers, you know, that method works for them. You know, they're able to just set the intention and such that they're going to shuffle it and it's going to be in that correct order. But the way that I do it is I go through individually and ask for each card whether that's the correct card or not for this reading. So, alrighty, so let's get started. Your first card, Capricorn, is home, and it's in the upright position. So it's number 27, home in the upright position. You are comfortable in your own skin. You belong. Peace, security, safety, belonging, and all the features one would want from home are indicated now. The home card represents an invitation to experience what it's like to be secure in your own skin, to live comfortably no matter what is happening in the world around you. It is a time for opening your eyes to your tribe of like-minded people, or one special person who makes you feel like you've come home. Home is love, and love is all around you now. Whatever your inquiry, you are where you're meant to be and will reap great benefits by staying on this path, regardless of where it leads. Home will always be with you. It is where the heart is. So I feel like there's a two-part message, well, several things that this card is touching on Of course, one of the big ones is developing that sense of security in who you are as an individual. Really having that sense of self that isn't based on your accomplishments. It's not based on how you dress, how you show up in the world. A lot of Capricorns can sometimes struggle with feeling like they need to attain all of the external things that are signs of success. But, and yes, that may be part of your path to attain those things and to have a strong material foothold in this world. But true security, that true sense of belonging, belonging on earth, belonging in your particular body, belonging in your family, in your relationships, in your job, whatever it may be, that sense of security does not come from external things, and you will never get it from external things if you don't already have it within you. You have to have that inner sense of security. Otherwise, you could have 500, houses. Maybe you work in real estate or something. You might have a massive real estate portfolio. You might have a really fat bank account. You know, you might have the perfect partner, but you're not going to feel secure unless you have that inner sense of security. So this is really asking you to connect with that inner sense of security. And this is a really good time, this time of month, to really reflect and think about these deep questions. So you might want to ask yourself, what makes you feel secure? If you feel like material goods make you feel secure, ask yourself why that is. What is it about material goods? And maybe explore the concept of the fact that it doesn't matter how much you have, any of that could go away in an instant for any number of reasons. So it's pretty logical and rational to realize that that inner sense is the one thing that can't be taken away no matter what's going on around you. If you have that inner sense of security, you're going to feel stable in this world. You're going to feel safe. Because those external things, well, any number of things can get rid of those. No matter how much you might feel like you've taken all the precautions, none of that is guaranteed to continue or to not be at risk of being lost. But an inner security, well, that's not going anywhere. That's something you always have or always will have. Your spirit is aware of that inner sense of security, but your conscious self may not really be aware of it. So, one other thing this card is talking about is really becoming aware of the value of the people in your life, becoming aware of the like-minded people that are in your life, or if it's one person. And the other message here is to know that you are on the correct path. And if you're feeling concerned about really not knowing how things are going to turn out, to just trust that you are in the right place at the right time. You are moving forward. And especially when you can connect to the, like we were talking about, the inner security. When you can focus on that and not so much the external things, you'll probably feel a lot calmer about any changes going on in your life. Especially like if you're going into a new situation and you may not feel 100% secure in it. Um, but when you really recognize that you have that security within you, when you recognize the benefits within you, like Capricorns are one of, I don't, it's hard to say. I know Virgos kind of struggle with this too, but um, Capricorns can be extremely hard on themselves, extremely self-critical. So, really be aware of all of your good qualities, and that you have a lot of wonderful qualities within you, and that you're able to provide that sense of security for yourself. You're safe with yourself, you're safe within yourself. So the second card is Dragon's Lair, and it's in the reversed position. This is number 19, Dragon's Lair in reversed position. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm using the Enchanted Map Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. This is one of my favorite decks. I use it quite often. Okay, Dragon's Lair, reversed. Red flags shouldn't be ignored. Don't be seduced into learning a lesson that will hurt your heart. Temptation and intrigue abound, but be careful, because you can't win this particular challenge. Heed this gentle warning about wanting and longing, and the fantasy of belonging to someone, something, or an identity that has no true substance or longevity. Ignore this alarm, and you'll wander in circles near the edge of the dragon's lair. Choose another path, for your treasures lie elsewhere. So, this is very interesting combined with this first card here, because the big thing that really stands out is this security. So, one big thing when we take it into account with this card here, you should probably definitely ask yourself if you are compromising in some way, or thinking about compromising because you feel that you will attain some sense of security through that compromise. Well, this message is saying, no, you're not going to get any security. In fact, it's probably going to be not not a good experience. But if you are connected, when you're connected to your inner sense of security, and you're not looking on the outside for someone else or a situation to provide you with that security, then you can know that you're on the right path. But if you're going and looking for something else to fulfill that need, you're going to experience some heartache, some loss, possibly some scary situations, especially if you're seeing red flags. I'm very curious to see what the third card is. Deep freeze, and this is upright. Okay, number 26. 26. Everything has its season. Now is the time to put activity on hold while you rest. The cold winter beckons you to slow down and put a freeze on things that are not yet ready to bloom. It's time for regeneration and hibernation. Forego ambitious activity. A pregnant pause allows ideas to gestate, projects to shift and change, and relationships to go through a dreamy state of being, not going anywhere, not needing to. This is also a time to put all your arguments on ice. Nothing beneficial will come from any of them. Self-care is the most important activity now. So reflect, read a good book, or get a massage, rest and dream. So that's another thing I've definitely noticed, is that Capricorns also struggle with self-care. And that ties back into that sense, or that lack of self-worth. And of course, there can be different variations on how extreme that can be experienced, but there's Spirit definitely wants you to take it easy right now. And these really do tie in together. You know, this could be a really powerful time, especially from now until the new moon. But this is primarily for this week, from this full moon we just had into the third quarter on the 26th. But the period of time between a full moon and a new moon, those 2 weeks, are normally a time of resting, reflecting, rejuvenating experiences, kind of gathering your thoughts, thinking about things that you've recently realized, um, kind of making plans, but not really necessarily implementing them. So this is going to be a really good time for you to really take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Get back in touch with that inner sense of security. That way, in all of the situations that you may run into, you're going to be aware of any red flags. People tend to ignore red flags because, and I'm speaking from experience, but I'm sure everyone's different to a certain extent. But in my experience, and those people I've known as well, people usually ignore red flags because there is something very much lacking within the way that they perceive themselves. Um, it may be that they feel that, and it doesn't have to always be like, oh, this person has low self-confidence. Sometimes we just get caught up in habits of thinking that others are in greater need of something than we are. We may feel like we're strong and we can deal with it, but this other person isn't as strong and they can't deal with it. So then you feel like you have to be the bigger person, take the high road, and then, put other people's needs in front of your own. Whereas if you were coming from a place of really strong self-worth, then you would never think that your needs are less valid and important than another person's. So, if you have that strong sense of self-worth, that sense of belonging on this planet, in this body, in your various situations, when you have that strong sense of self-worth, then any red flag, you see it as a red flag. And you say, oh, nope, I don't want to get involved in that. There's no reason to. You don't even feel drawn to it. But if you're having that low sense of security in yourself, then you may ignore or just be oblivious to red flags, because that opportunity or person may appear to fulfill something that is missing. And then, like I said, your soul is aware of this sense of self. Your soul, your spirit knows what's going on. But the human part of us is so impacted and we allow ourselves to be impacted. We develop coping mechanisms. We develop our ideas about the world and existence and life as we grow, as we experience different things. So it's like part of us never forgets that we're perfect. Part of us never forgets that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. But there's this other part of us that is having this human experience and gets all wrapped up in the drama of things and the pain, and we forget. And so at some point we realize we've forgotten all this stuff, and we start trying to get rid of all this, bullshit that's piled on over the years, and uncover that true sense of self underneath. that's been there all along. It's been there all along. It's just been covered up. So reconnect with that inner security, and you'll definitely, things will go very smoothly, and you can definitely trust that. And even if they appear to not always be going smoothly, just trust that things are unfolding as they should, as long as you're connecting to that true inner sense and you're not getting that sense of security um, from others. Because even though this card did mention that you might be in an experience where you have a sense of coming home with a person or a place, it's not saying that that's a bad thing. Of course, that's a wonderful thing when you go into a place or a job or you meet someone and you feel that connection. When you're coming from a centered place, a balanced place, a healthy place, when you're coming from a healthy place in yourself, then that sensation, that energy that you feel, is letting you know that this person is also in a similar place. They're also coming from that balanced place. But if you're coming from a place that's dysfunctional or out of balance or is looking to externals to feel a whole or make you feel safer or secure or whatever, then when you feel that with another, then that's more of like a trauma bonding sort of thing. That's not really, you're not feeling that sense of connection because they are a safe connection. You're feeling it because they are somehow fitting that puzzle piece of what you perceive to be lacking in your life. But in reality, those situations never turn out great. So as long as you're coming from that inner sense of security, things are going to really move along just as they're supposed to, and you can definitely trust in that. So if you enjoyed this reading, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much. My channel is new and growing. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. I offer free personalized oracle card readings, tarot card readings on here as my time and energy allows. So be sure to hit the bell notification because that will let you know when I'm live and you can ask a personalized question. Let's see. Oh, also I have a website, theinneryou.com, just spelled just like my channel. And I offer very affordable oracle card readings there, as well as astrological charts, birth charts, relationship compatibility charts, and have some other services available there. So I hope this helped you out and hope you have a wonderful week. I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.